Good evening and welcome to the Coffeyville City Commission meeting for Tuesday, October 13th. We'll take roll at this time.
Mayor Bauer.
Here.
Commissioner Maxson.
Here.
Commissioner York.
Here.
Vice Mayor Doan.
Here.
Commissioner Van Oster.
Here.
Tonight's invocation will be led by Pastor Melvin Simpson. Please stand for the invocation and remain standing for the Pledge of Allegiance.
Most kind and gracious Father God, we thank you, God, for all your many blessings and your goodness, Lord. Lord, we realize it was you this morning that woke us up, Lord, and we was clothed in our right mind. We had the activities of our limbs. And God, we do thank you tonight for giving us food to eat, shelter, raiment. God, we ask you tonight to bless the citizens of this town, bless the city commissioners and all the staff, bless our land and keep us, God. God, we need you, God, and we the sheep of your pastures. Lead and guide us, God, in the direction we should go. And God, we do thank you in Jesus' name. Amen.
Amen. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you, Pastor Simpson. Tonight's consent agenda, City Commission meeting minutes for Tuesday, September 22nd, 2020, and 2020 appropriation ordinance number AO-20-19 in the amount of $1,539,847.94. Questions, comments, or amendments to these two items on the consent agenda?
I just have a few of the not the larger ones that make up this $1.5 million. This is one of those times when we have two payroll periods coming out on an appropriation ordinance that amounts to 811, about around 400,000 each time. We had the quarterly insurance due on our power plant this time, and that amounted to 119,000, which again, that's budgeted for and set, but those are quarterly payments that we make. We did have some repairs to the library roof, which hopefully, from what I gather, that is taken care of, and hopefully they won't have any more problems, and that ran about $9,400. And then we also had some more design engineering things that we paid out. Number one was like on the Highland Road design. That's coming closer. I'm going to take it. And that was $1,100. And then the John Deere equipment that we approved for out at the light plant, and that was $26,000. And that's about it. But those are some of the things that make up that $1.5 million that we just spent.
Thank you for that overview. Any other questions or comments? If none, I'll approve appropriation ordinance. I'll approve 1 and 2 on the consent agenda as presented. I'll spit it out right here in a second.
I'll second.
Motion is made by Mayor Bauer, seconded by Commissioner Van Oster to approve items 1 and 2 of the consent agenda as presented. Commissioner Maxson.
Aye.
Commissioner York.
Aye.
Vice Mayor Doan.
Aye.
Commissioner Van Oster.
Aye.
Mayor Bauer.
Aye. This time we'll take comments from the public. Any citizen desiring to address the commission shall be recognized, advance to the podium, state his or her name and address for the record. Comments should be limited to 3 minutes unless extended by a vote of the majority of the commission. The commission does not hear matters involving litigation or city personnel. The commission does not take action on subjects not on the agenda unless unusual or hardship conditions exist. Citizens may address the commission on agenda items as they are brought to the floor. The podium is all yours. Quiet group tonight, okay. So we'll move into the regular agenda items. We have a public hearing to consider a 2021 CDBG grant application from the Kansas Department of Commerce for a street improvement project. Director of Engineering Thomas Osborne will make comments. Susan Galmore with the Southeast Kansas Regional Planning Commission is available for comments also.
Thank you, Mayor and Commissioners. As you know, in the past, we've had several CDBG grants that we've applied for. Each one does require several resolutions and, of course, a public hearing to receive input from citizens of the community on the grant application process. Tonight, we need to hold that we published in the newspaper for when that was to be held, and tonight we need to hold that public hearing. As based off that public hearing and your decisions, we do have 3 total resolutions. 2 resolutions are for the application, and the final is for the actual, for Southeast Kansas Regional Planning Commission to be our help with our grant administration. So I'd be happy to answer any questions, and Susan is here. She can help as well. And Chuck, if he's nice, he might help as well. Since he's retired.
I got to see him on Saturday.
So I will say, he put all this together right before he retired pretty much. So.
Gone but not forgotten.
Right.
This is for streets between Luark and Klein, 4th and 7th, or 4th and 8th, so it doesn't actually include 4th and 8th.
So we'll open this up for a public hearing to consider a 2021 CDBG grant application from the Kansas Department of Commerce for streets and improvement projects. Any questions, comments, or things that anyone in the audience would like to come forward and discuss? Now is the time.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor, Commissioners. Jim Faulkner, 1014 West 3rd.
Hello, Jim.
Just a quick recommendation. I've been beating this drum for a couple of years. 4th Street between Santa Fe and Northeast has been and still is in desperate need of repair. That's my comment.
Thank you, Mr. Faulkner.
Thank you.
Anyone else? Okay, we'll close the public hearing at this time. Then we'll move into, we're going to go ahead and do items 2 through 4 all in one, since they're all grouped together as a whole anyway. So I'll just read the resolutions. Resolution number R-20-70, a resolution to certify legal authority to apply for the 2021 Kansas Small Cities CDBG grant. Resolution R-20-71, a resolution to assure funds will be continually provided for operation and maintenance for the CDBG finance street system improvements. And number 4, resolution number R-20-72, a resolution to authorize administrative consulting services with Southeast Kansas Regional Planning Commission for the 2021 Kansas Small Cities CDBG grant for street system improvements. Director of Engineering Thomas Osborne will make comments, and Susan Gilmore is still here.
Again, this is just the formality of submitting the application to CDBG for their consideration, and then getting Southeast Regional Kansas on board with us to help facilitate with that grant.
So the only question I had regarding any of these was, this is not going to be like a 9th and 10th Street fixed, correct? Correct. This is going to be a spot fix, is what I read, and then it'll be milled, and then, so it'll be milled, spot fixed, and then it'll be asphalted back over, correct? Instead of a complete tear out.
Correct. So there's some, I don't know all the curb and gutter, but there's a lot of curb and gutter in it as well. So it's going to be very, very similar. I don't know that it's going to be to the extent that 9th and 10th Street was, just because of the different types of bases that are around town. I don't know that those are brick streets to my knowledge underneath it.
Right.
So there is a change.
Okay.
That goes, but it's going to be milling with spot patching and then the overlay.
Okay.
And curb and gutter as needed, as well as the ADA ramps required by ADA requirements. So there
do
will
we
not be
have-
sidewalks though.
Do we have utilities running underneath those street surfaces?
I do not know for sure off the top of my head. I think there might be some on 5th Street that are right at the edge,
Okay.
but there's currently not a plan at the moment to fully relocate those. So
There's enough yard space here. I think most of those are in the yard, are they not?
I'm not sure.
Yeah.
And your proposed project budget is $1,168,000, correct?
That sounds correct.
Okay. And
And it's
Of
a
course,
50/50 grant.
our portion's
with-
half.
Yep.
And the CDBG grant will be the other. And our funding comes from
Street sales tax.
street
funds.
sales tax, that's right. Okay. The 2.5-cent transportation taxes.
Yes.
I might also want to point out, there is qualifications that we have to go through and information to qualify for CDBG, which does mean that is basically low income. It has to be a percentage, and those residents in the area must meet that criteria and must be contacted.
Right.
Yep.
And that is, you know, as far as this process, that's why you see it selective, because it can only be done in certain parts
Right.
of town. And it is to stretch those dollars to getting that done. So I just wanted you to be aware that, you know, if a street isn't done, it's not that we don't want to, it's just a CDBG grant is only available in certain situations.
Right.
So I
So-
just wanted
so-
to make that aware.
And just for clarification, we've already went out and went through that process, correct? I know the fire department helped us on the 10th Street project and went out and went door to door.
We actually were able to do most of the surveys by phone,
Mm-hmm.
and then I believe Mark actually went out one weekend to try to.
Well, thank you, Mark.
Some of the last few that we weren't able to contact.
Okay,
Okay,
fantastic.
great.
Yeah, good.
That's great.
Well, if there are no other questions, I'll make a motion to approve resolutions R-20-7. Let me get back to my page here.
Yeah.
7071 and 72.
I'll second that.
Motion is made by Mayor Bauer, seconded by Commissioner Van Oster to approve resolutions R-20-70, R-20-71, and R-20-72 as presented. Commissioner York,
Aye.
Vice Mayor Doan,
Aye.
Commissioner Van Oster,
Aye.
Mayor Bauer,
Aye.
Commissioner Maxon.
Aye.
Thank you, Thomas.
Thanks, Tom.
Great.
Thank you, Susan.
Yes, thank you, Susan. Moving into new business, resolution number R-20-65, a resolution to approve a cooperative agreement for participation in the Kansas Housing Assistance Program.
Mayor, Commissioners, you have
Oh, make
tonight, we are going to try to have Diana.
We need to move,
Oh,
we need to move to take this off the table.
I'll make a motion to take resolution R-20-65 from the table for discussion.
I'll second.
I'm sorry, was that Doan?
Yes,
Okay.
sorry.
Motion is made by Commissioner Van Oster, seconded by Vice Mayor Doan to take resolution R-20-65 from the table. Mayor Bauer,
Aye.
Commissioner Maxon,
Aye.
Commissioner York,
Aye.
Vice Mayor Doan,
Aye.
Commissioner Van Oster.
Aye.
All right. Go right ahead, Mr. Mark Hall. You need to turn your microphone back on now.
We should have someone zooming in. Chris, our TV is not.
Yeah, I
There
see
he
it on
is.
that
There.
TV.
Yeah.
That one run off.
It was tabled at the last
Yeah.
meeting.
Yeah, so we had to untable it first. Yep, yep.
So now we're back on.
Yes.
Yeah. Mike, There you
I'll
go.
just
I was waiting for the red
set
light.
this up
There
and
we go.
hopefully everything,
Yep.
okay, that does not look like
Okay.
Diana. Okay. Mayor, Commissioners, is what you have before, and thank you, I'm sorry, my misunderstanding, bringing this back off the table, is since 2014, the Kansas Housing Assistance Program has offered assistance to first first mortgage amounts of 5%. It is one of those that we have, and I'm going to ask to state your name and kind of bring us up to speed on what this program has to offer the city of Coffeyville.
All right.
Okay.
Thank you very much. My name is Scott Riffle. I work for Stiefel, and we are the program administrator for the Kansas Housing Assistance Program. Thank you very much, distinguished mayor, commissioners. It's a pleasure to speak with you tonight. This program, the resolution before you, is procedural in nature. This resolution allows the program to be offered to lenders, realtors, and home buyers in your area so that they may take advantage of the program. The program has been in existence for a very long time in many different forms, but the current form since 2013. We offer very low rates as well as down payment assistance for those borrowers that qualify. And what I mean by that is that we only offer government loans, FHA, VA, USDA, and conventional loans through a partnership with Freddie Mac. And those loans are very low rate. For example, today, a borrower can lock a 2.375% rate on a 30-year fixed rate loan if they have their own funds. If they want assistance in the form of 4% of the loan amount, that rate would only increase to 3%. So it's extraordinarily attractive from an interest rate perspective. The folks that use this program are often police officers, first responders, teachers, folks that want to make roots in the jurisdiction or city that they want to live in. With that, I can answer any questions. Many other jurisdictions in Montgomery County have joined the program and allowed it to function, and we're hopeful that you do the same.
All right, thank you.
Okay, thank you.
Questions for Scott or for Mark?
I think it's a great start.
Yeah.
Yes.
We're
very much
gonna
so.
go after anything and everything.
Thanks.
And this is a great assistance to move forward.
So Mark, can you kind of go through how will that process work for, so if somebody's interested in this, what do they do?
Well, and that is, as we set this up as our program, right now, if somebody interested and we get this information out, we would seek their assistance to sit down and work with them through the process. That's what they're for. Of course, we will learn more expertise of how we can be more of assistance, but right now we will learn the best way to hook up somebody, but we have a contact information and we know where to go. Their experience since this program has been so long in existence, it is that it speeds up the process. And, you know, as we get this out, we will use our government channel and let people know. But we can start moving this forward just by simply connecting the parties together and working out based on their knowledge. So we don't have to slow up to get people already interested in the program.
So who would they initially contact?
They can contact City Hall.
Okay.
And I was going to say they can speak to us. We'll be aware and we'll have that.
Yep.
And we'll have, which we already have, numbers to contact. And we'll start to hooking up parties and see what all we can do.
Very good.
Yes, very good.
I think that's great.
So how does this work along with our local businesses?
These will, I mean, there's going to be others. This just is assistance. It's usually on the lower income side. It is one of those that it makes available. They can always go to a traditional bank lender and seek that. This just because of the federal part of it does allow them just to offer a little more assistance. And that's basically it gives them the possibility of a better rate, but also gives them their their equity injection in it can be utilized in this. So it's really kind of a HUD, Fed, a little bit of this and that, Freddie Mac type program. But we will have other programs that, you know, would be as they come on. You know, there is USDA direct loans, but then we always want to strive for to use the local banks whenever possible.
Right.
And a lot of the local banks do not participate in these programs. They can always contact and see what they can do, but it is just another source of funding for those in need that want to get into housing.
And are there income requirements on this?
There is, if I'm not mistaken, there's some income requirements on that.
That's it depends on obviously the type of loan that the borrower wishes to take advantage of, but families may go up to $107,000 if that's the income limit for most loan products.
Okay.
Good.
All right.
Very good.
You understand why I asked that, right?
Yeah, I mean, we're not like say, is to say, we would always refer to local lenders. It's just this is an added assistance to the program, and I think that's the reason why it would be attractive if somebody in that target. But as we go on, the HUD, the direct USDA, those will be in that there is certain HUD and USDA programs that can be run through a traditional bank lender, our local banks. But some of these programs are directly federal. But that is this is just giving somebody an alternative. If they qualify and want to go to the local, it's trying not to compete, but it's also trying to get somebody, if this is something they need based on their income, this will give them at least a vehicle to make a choice and sit there and go, what is the best to get you into a home? And that's our end result. I think as we get to the traditional and the upper end building that's going to go on, those will always be through our local lenders. There's not programs that are designed for that. You know, if you can afford, once we get that level, that will always be in our local.
Okay, very good. There are no other questions. I'll move to approve resolution R2065 as presented.
I'll second.
Motion is made by Commissioner York, seconded by Commissioner Van Oster to approve Resolution R-20-65 as presented. Commissioner Maxson.
Aye.
Commissioner York.
Aye.
Vice Mayor Doan.
Aye.
Commissioner Van Oster.
Aye.
Mayor Bauer.
Aye. Yes, thank you. Just got a text, Chris. Someone texted me and said they cannot get.
Thank you very much. I appreciate it.
Thank you.
Oh, sorry.
you, sir.
Yes, thank you, Scott. Chris, someone just messaged me and said that they could not get the meeting online tonight. So, just giving you a heads up. If you're back there.
Yeah.
Thank
Yeah,
you.
there he
All
is.
right.
I just gave
He
it back.
thumbs up.
Thank you.
All right. Ordinance number S-20-08, an ordinance to rezone the property commonly known as 104 West 11th Street in Coffville. Building Inspector Matt Conger will make comments.
Good evening, Mayor and Commissioner. Last Tuesday, a Mr. Collins, representing Casey's Retail Company, went before the Planning and Zoning Commission to propose a rezoning of 104 West 11th Street from C3 Business Commercial to C4 Service Commercial for the purpose of operating a Casey's convenience store / truck stop. It was a unanimous yes vote from the Planning Commission, and I'd be happy to answer any questions for you.
So my question was, is it appears by the pictures that we received was, so it's the old hotel,
Yes.
and then we're going to rezone the Cox building also? Or-
No.
Okay, so that'll stay C3, and then it'll go C4
For the rest
from
of that
there
parking lot.
west?
Yes.
Okay, all right, because in the picture, it looked like it was trying to rezone that whole area.
Yeah.
The picture you got was the current zoning.
Okay,
Okay,
sorry,
okay.
yep, gotcha. All right. I don't have a lot, I mean, I think that's a great idea. I
Right.
think something going in there is better than what we have right now, which is nothing, it's an empty building.
I think it adds a lot of value. Yeah.
Absolutely. So my only question is with this being a truck stop, right? Primarily a truck stop, in the pictures that we saw,
Possibility,
do we have any concerns with turning and things like that? I mean, because it looks like some of the gas pumps for the bigger trucks will be on the back side of the building. So that means they would have to probably take a left, go down to the hotel, take a right, and then circle back in? Is that any concern from a street structure-wise? Because those,
And I don't mean to jump ahead of Matt, but, you know, what this does is going from C3 to C4 just allows additional use.
yeah.
The thing is the process of, we'll just say, a possible interested party, they still have to work out the entrances and those. It is part of their due diligence is to sit there, for example, 11th Street is still the oversight of KDOT. So any entrances on 11th Street would have to be addressed by KDOT. That is something that they would have to go through. Any other entrances would have to be worked out and approved by the city commission. Those are things that are still being worked on as we speak. And if we get a proposal of how they would like to gain access to this property, that will be what is brought to the commission. But I know that is being worked out. Like you said, there's concerns of how would you get in, which way you get in, easements and these stuff, and there's still that KDOT variable. So
Right, and maybe I was getting ahead of myself on this whole thing. I'm sure
So
those
this
are gonna
is
be.
just a,
that was just what was given to us.
okay,
It is one of those that's,
still gotta be,
it has to be worked out. And
Okay.
like I say, if that should come to fruition, the access to the property would have to be presented to the commission.
Yep.
Yeah,
And it-
there's some curb cuts and some of that
Yeah,
that'll have to
yeah.
occur.
And
Like I said, maybe I was
KDOT
getting
will
ahead
have
on
to
the
address
question. I
those.
just saw
and-
the picture and
yeah,
Yeah.
okay.
raised a few additional questions, so.
But-
So where the pumps are, is that, it's hard for me to gauge the property here. So is that part of our parking lot?
No.
Okay.
That's still on the
So it's
property.
still to the
but
south of it.
That right now, as we know, is a proposal drawing. We do not have any building plans that we're going through. And then that's just to give us an idea.
Yep.
What they're thinking, and then working from there.
You said
Who all and what
They
all.
submitted plans, we're reviewing them still.
Okay.
Yeah, we're just in a review process right now with those. What you have is just a preliminary drawing of the
Okay.
property, so
Very good.
we are reviewing their plans.
All right.
Well, it's a great use for that piece of property. and
I agree.
I
It'll
think
look so
it's,
much better.
will add a great benefit to the city as well,
Yes.
so.
Nice big
Will.
intersection right there too, lots
Absolutely.
of traffic, so.
That's
Absolutely.
right. Okay,
Well,
If there are no other questions, I'll move to approve ordinance S20-08 as presented.
I'll second.
Motion is made by Commissioner York, seconded by Vice Mayor Down to approve ordinance S-20-08 as presented. Commissioner York,
Aye.
Vice Mayor Down,
Aye.
Commissioner Van Oster,
aye.
Mayor Bauer,
Aye.
Commissioner Maxon.
Aye.
Thank you, Matt.
Thank you, Matt. Resolution number R-20-73, a resolution to approve the purchase of a new forklift for the electric utility. Director of Mike Shook will make comments.
Good evening, Mayor, Commissioners.
Evening.
The electric department purchased a Caterpillar Model GP 25 forklift in the late 1990s. We researched our records. We couldn't determine the actual purchase date, but I think it was in the 95 or 96. This forklift has served both the electric distribution and generation all this time, including serving most other city departments in any emergency operations that we've had over the last 20-plus years. The lifting capacity of our current forklift is often insufficient to load and unload our transformers and associated equipment. Therefore, we've sought pricing for forklifts with a larger lifting capacity, 7,000 to 8,000 pounds, to be able to accommodate most, if not all, of our needs. Should the commission approve this purchase, this current forklift, we would move it out to our plant number 2, which we've got 2 other warehouses out there now, and use that forklift out there. Staff is recommending the Caterpillar forklift. Included in your packet is a summary of the pricing. Should the commission approve this, we're recommending the Caterpillar forklift over the lower priced Mitsubishi forklift, the difference of $627, simply because we've had such good luck with the current Caterpillar forklift. And staff recommends that the mayor be authorized to direct the director of finance to issue a purchase order to Weiss for the purchase of the Caterpillar forklift.
Questions or
I'd be happy to
comments?
try to answer any questions that you may have.
So this was included in your capital budget, correct?
Yes,
for
sir, it
this
was.
year? Yep.
It was.
It sounds like you get all the good out of them anyways. So.
Yeah, yeah.
Probably about time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We're currently using 2 forklifts out at Generation Plant Number 2 that were included in the purchase of those buildings. They're about 50-year-old forklifts
Yeah.
that we have to work on daily just to get them to start.
Well, and you're gonna continue to use the one you currently have, correct? If I
Yeah.
read right in your
We're
notes.
gonna move it
Yeah.
out to the new plant, yes,
Right,
sir.
exactly, yes.
I'd move to approve resolution R-20-73 as presented.
I'll second.
Motion is made by Commissioner Maxson, seconded by Commissioner Van Oster to approve resolution R-20-73 as presented. Vice Mayor Doan.
Aye.
Commissioner Van Oster.
Aye.
Mayor Bauer.
Aye.
Commissioner Maxson.
Aye.
Commissioner York.
Aye.
Thank you,
Thanks,
Commissioner.
Mike.
Thank you, Mike.
Resolution number R-20-74, a resolution to authorize a contract to sell 5 vacant lots to Coppell Resources and authorize related closing documents. Mark Hall will make comments. Do we want to do 74 and 75 together?
Well,
Or we keep them
they're two separate.
Okay, all right, good enough. Yep,
It's
yeah,
in a
that's
way
right.
connected, one's from
All right.
CRNF.
Yep.
Mayor,
remember
Commissioners,
reading
this, first that we'll look at is Coffeyville Resources approached the city and were interested in some vacant lots that we do have. It is one of those we currently mow, but we do not have any use for. It was working with, and I think, and want to commend CVR, that was giving us a very good lot price with the understanding that we wanted to utilize whatever proceeds we get is for playground equipment. And that playground equipment will be determined the location by the Parks Board, but it will be like we've done before, and we are going to work on that this fall. But, you know, the past CVR we have worked with, and they have turned this into a good thing. The city will also post that, you know, this is a contribution by CVR to the community, but we hope that partnership, and they've been great to work with, this does do something, not only helps them in their process of a buffer zone, but it also sits there and gives back to the community in a good partnership for the youth, and of course adults can enjoy the playground facility. So what I ask is for your consideration to approve their purchase of or the sale of 707 North Walnut Street, 626 North Walnut Street, 624 North Walnut Street, 9 East is that Betty Street?
Beatty.
Beatty,
Yeah.
and then 1 East Martin Street. And the proceeds to be utilized for playground equipment, the location to be determined by the Parks Board.
Questions or comments for Mark?
So it appears from the map from the county here that all the surrounding properties are vacant lots as well, correct?
Yes, sir.
Any other questions?
No other questions.
Any questions?
I'll make a motion to approve resolution R-20-74 as presented.
I'll second.
Motion is made by Mayor Bauer, seconded by Commissioner Van Oster to approve resolution R-20-74 as presented. Commissioner Van Oster.
Aye.
Mayor Bauer.
Aye.
Commissioner Maxson.
Abstain.
Commissioner York.
Aye.
Vice Mayor Doan.
Aye.
Resolution number R-20-75, a resolution to authorize a contract to sell a vacant lot to Coffeyville Resources and authorize related closing documents. Mark Hall will make comments.
Mayor, Commissioners, this is the same process. It is for just one lot, and it's a triangle lot. It's a small portion. It is one of those that, reason this was separated is from the nitrogen side of Coffeyville Resources. But that would be in the amount of $1,570, and that would also be included in the total playground cost or proceeds available for a playground to be determined by the Parks Board. And part of our commitment, and they've understand on this, is we will post a sign based on the approval of Coffeyville Resources about their contribution to the community, and that way it will show the community our partnership.
Very good. Questions or comments?
I have none. I'll move to approve Resolution R-20-75 as presented.
Second.
Motion is made by Commissioner Van Oster, seconded by Mayor Bauer to approve Resolution R-20-75 as presented. Mayor Bauer.
Aye.
Commissioner Maxon.
Abstain.
Commissioner York.
Aye.
Vice Mayor Doan.
Aye.
Commissioner Van Oster.
Aye.
Thank you, Mark. City Manager's report.
Mayor, Commissioners, first of all, I want to thank city staff. We're in fall mode, so we're trying to get a lot of things done. And as I just mentioned, we've got a playground to erect. That will be in North Park.
Mhm.
And it is one of those that I think representatives or people from each department will help and assist in that, putting up that, and that way it will go up quicker. Public Service will, set that, and then we'll come and have a bunch of ratchets in our hand and get that thing up. But I think it is a good partnership going forward in the community, and I know you've been to North Park.
Yep.
That's very old equipment, and it'll get started something new. We have some little improvements as we're going along to North Park, but what you did tonight gives us another project.
All right.
And if we could get it in and get it done, we'll get it done as fast as we can. I do want to thank, we're now seeing things going into dormancy. Mowing is a little less. We kept on, and I know there was times where, things squirted out and, might have not gone right away, but I want to commend staff for getting through another growing season. We're not perfect. We do understand we make mistakes. I also thank the community. We had a lot of people staying up on their yards, which we still had a large amount of violations, but it is one of those that by and large they tried also. And I don't know if that's being home more because of the situation, but it's working. We're trying to get out that we want to work with the public and try to prevent a violation if we can. And if they'll work with us, and if they make an honest effort, we'll make an honest effort too. And we do understand sometimes the situation at the home doesn't allow right at that moment. But if you'll work with us and talk to us, there's a lot of things we can do. And, thank you, Electric. Police Department. Good thing is we haven't had that as far as the virus to lower our staff. But I say that now, and it could change. We have seen some effects. I will say we had a discussion with the hospital, and I'm going to go ahead and say this, is that I think everybody in the community is aware that there is an uptick, and that's across the country and other counties too. And the thing in the discussion was basically is just a reminder that, Montgomery County is one of the counties that agreed with the executive order to wear masks. That is a good thing, and I think we see more that are coming on that are actually changing their policy to masks. But please wear your mask, please social distance, and you wash your hands. But if we can keep continuing doing that, many hospitals in the future are going to come to capacity again. And if we can keep working together to remind each other, don't let our guard down, and that's what we talked about. then we can prevent our hospital from coming to capacity. So it's just good. It's not an alarm. It's just sitting there going, let's be smart. And the hospital is great to set this up, you know, and just let us know that, remind us that this is upticking, you know. Let's all put our hats back on and think of good, and nobody's shutting anything down. It's just, we can be smart about it. Other than that, thank you again, staff, for all that you do. And we're trying to stay on top of it, and winter is our busy time of the year. We line up for next spring, so we will be busy this winter. So if there's any questions, I'd be glad to answer those.
Yes, I have one. Would you talk about cleanup week? Because I know cleanup week next week. Would you talk about that? Because you were involved in setting that up or whatever.
Yeah, that would, and you're aware that cleanup week is next weekend. We do have the, and I wish I had the flyer in front of me.
I believe it's the 19th through the 26th. Is that correct?
19th through that.
25th.
25th. Yeah. And in fact, I'll let Cindy.
Oh.
Oh, no, I didn't. Melissa, I'll let Melissa explain that. And
So the tree dump will be open through the week, extended hours for people to bring, you know, their bulk items. Basically, anything that they can put out for bulk trash on a normal bulk trash day, they can take. No hazardous waste, no tires, anything like that. The police department is doing the drug take-back day on Saturday the 25th, so that will be available. We weren't able to get a hazardous waste day set up, but the information is on the flyer how to contact the hazardous waste department for, you know, any of that disposal through them.
Good. Thank you.
Melissa did a great job.
Yes, she did.
And I emphasize Melissa did a great job. Yeah, I'm not
You're
going
in
to live this
trouble.
one down.
Hazardous work environment now. Moving right along. We'll move into comments from the commissioners and staff. How about that, Mark? I'll try to save you.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
I'll go first. So I had wrote down on my paper North Park Playground, and you had talked about it a little bit. It's a wonderful agreement that we have with CVR, but I know we had some. I understand we had some setback with COVID, staffing, stuff like that. Do you have a timeline? I mean, we've had this equipment for a while, and we got another one coming. So.
Yeah, I think is what we tried to do and originally is in COVID we're going to see, you know, based on this agreement and the funds and this stuff, is that we took advantage of there was a discounting of playground equipment, so that's why we got it in. We got it in quick, and then of course things change, park equipment. These things, it was trying to figure a way through it. It is our plan to get on that as soon as possible. It is sitting there, we know, and that's where I was saying, instead of relying on one department to sit there and erect this and this, it will be basically the public service will set the poles that need to be, and then we just, is departments that are available. It won't be just the public service, it'll be all the hands on deck that can be spared, and we get that done in one day. And that's our goal. It might be 2 days, but we want to get it done as fast. I know Jim's looking at weather, we're going to have a downturn next week in temperature. Well, in fact, a lot of days are in the 60s. So I know that's very close because of that. It's very close that we're going to be on that.
Okay.
So I wish I could tell you exact, and I'll talk to Jim, but it's very close because the temperatures are going down and stuff is going dormant. So we will get time to get this thing set.
All right. Just keep us in the loop.
You bet.
Thank you.
So I had a question in regards to the neighborhood revitalization program. Have we got, where are we at with that?
And I apologize, Paul put out, Paul Kreitz, some information. That should be on the next agenda.
Okay.
It is one of those, Mr. Avey. We have notified Mr. Avey, and he's been understanding, but that should be on the next agenda.
So is that program in existence right now, or is it not?
Well, technically, it expired.
Okay.
But it is one of those that is getting this started. We can make the qualifications.
Very good.
So,
And then I had a citizen call in regards to, doing CDBG grants on streets south of 14th, so over in the Kansas streets and those areas. And I know there's not a large amount of population in that area, but there's some pretty bad roads in that area, so it may be something we could possibly look at
and
for
that
future
is, I know,
CDBG
Chuck.
projects.
Well, there he is.
Yeah.
You know, Chuck, we're going through, and that's what, wanted to make the public aware, and of course, you're aware that CDBG just stretches our dollars, and there's certain requirements that got to be met. And looking at the area in 14th and that stuff, we can, I know the larger population, the more populated that is in that income level, the lower income level, it improves our chances of getting the possibility. But I think with Chuck here, it's one of those, is the future. We'll see what we can do.
Yep. Well, I mean, the needs for roads are all over town.
Yeah,
right?
and that's what.
But that was an area of concern that a citizen had, and so
Yeah,
I said, yes,
and
I'll
I agree.
inquire.
That's,
So,
every city is failing.
Yep.
They're failing, and you're trying to come up with. The good thing is the city has started this process and qualifies for CDBG, and therefore, like I say, we don't have to come up with the whole million to go in and do that area.
Mm-hmm.
It's a maximum of $2,000 per beneficiary.
Right.
So if you have 5 people living in a block, most
Mhm.
you can get is 10,000.
10,000. Yeah.
And that doesn't go, a few feet.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Is there a way we could capitalize on that area being in the opportunity zone?
As far as streets, probably investment could, but, the streets, that would be the question, because usually it's more of an investment in the opportunity zone. It is one of those that we're going to, you always seek money from the Bureau of Local Projects of KDOT. We will try any way and every way to get, what we can. The sales tax is a great gift. I don't think the community actually realizes that allows us to do it. In most cities is, streets, and like ours is designed, if you didn't have a sales tax, you don't have a secret kitty that for streets. There's no city does, because there's no fair way to utilize it. It is one of those, when you build your street, you paid for it in one way or the other.
Right.
And there's not a little kitty that's put back over 40 years that says when this fails, you've got a little kitty. There's no kitty, and therefore it starts over with the new owners. And they say, well, I just bought the house, and now I'm putting in through special assessment, I'm putting in a street. That is how, but the city passed, and the city has part for highway and part for non-highway. It lets you address as quick as you can. Of course, anytime you can expand this area, once it's done, you'll get 20 or 30 years, if not longer, but we'll never have to go back again. And it's gradually trying to work that. The sad thing, by the time you get it all done, these already failing. It's a never-ending battle, but it is one of those. I wish money grew on trees and that stuff. You're trying to pick the priority of those who cannot afford, and that's the good thing with CDBG, that cannot afford to pay for that street. But you have some, and that is available citizens that, you know, if they want their street improved in front of that, they can follow the special assessment and they can file for it. And it is one of those, there's certain qualifications. The funding goes through. There is, if it's a developer, there's usually participation amount, but it is for those, if they want a new street, and you can go to Lawrence, you can go to Wichita, you can go to all over and look up special assessment, and they'll tell you how to get a street in front of your house, and they'll tell you how it's done. But basically is the city would fund for 15 years. The city would pay that amount, and it would take out, but principal and interest would be included into the property owner's payment for that street. Now, that amount, mill and overlay, I want to say, is probably $60 a month for 15 years. If you do a total reconstruction of the street, you usually put a cap on that. It could be $150 a month for 15 years. So that is, but cities, unless what you've done, but you're trying to work your way across the city, most cities leave it to special assessment and sit there and go, residential streets are your own. And that's how they originally started. And that is something that is hard to explain to the citizens, because when I look out of the front door and I see that street, it's a city street.
Right. Yep.
But that's how they work. But what you're doing is taking advantage of as many governmental funds to accomplish the streets that you can.
Yep.
So we'll keep working at it, and I think on 4th Street, we'll always look and see, can we do this? Can we do something that will squeak out some more life in it?
Yep.
And that goes, but that needs, I've seen the stuff that's, you know, you just want to kind of cry and sit there and go, it's almost a 2-track.
Yep.
So we'll get there. It's just
Time.
trying to keep on top of it.
Right. The only other thing I wanted to call out was our sales tax report, and so
It's looking much better.
it's been a really good year for sales tax in Coffeyville, and thank the citizens for that. So,
And
yeah.
I think if you heard on the radio this morning, I brought that up, is, you know, we're roughly, Stephanie, would you say 11%, somewhere around there? 11% of last year, and last year was an improvement.
Right.
The sales taxes started that upward motion. It wasn't a downward. It started upward, and like I say, last year it was a good rebound. And the way it looks now, buying local, we appreciate it. You know, that was a good thing, because the sales tax, we don't keep it. We utilize it to do things for the public.
That's
and the sales tax that's raised in Coffeyville stays in Coffeyville.
That's right.
And that's the good thing.
Well,
Where your
it-
sales tax dollars go is right here in this town.
It
And
also
it doesn't go
helps
somewhere
offset
else.
the need for property taxes. So when
Yes,
you can, when
that's
you can
it.
generate more sales tax, the need for property taxes goes
Yep.
down. So yep,
That's
it's a good
exactly
thing.
true.
Yep.
With all the new programs that we're adding, residential, the tax incentives for businesses and stuff like that, are we gonna have another, I guess, kind of roundtable meeting with all the businesses that want to come to it, and bankers, us, MAC, and the chamber? That way everybody can be on the same page to kind of market us all the same way, and then let, you know, bankers know that the opportunities are out there because they get potential clients all the time. The chamber gets a lot of phone calls from potential, you know, businesses here. Just so we can all send them to the same place with the same information.
You bet. You know, and that might be where the city wants to, you do have what's coming up to you. You have several strategic plans. You do already. There's some pieces in there that you'll have to approve for city and programs, but I can tell you right now, you do have an economic plan. It is one of those, you know, first the commission will want to look and listen, but we can always with businesses have, of course, you know, you don't want it COVID and these kind of things, but I think things are good, and to understand that, you know, that cities are going to work their way through this. business owners, but it is. As far as our economic growth, we want them to know and understand where we're going. And that is simply gives them, for their investment purposes, is, what is the city, and there's a small part, but what is the city doing about downtown? Is there going to be a marketing program for Coffeyville for downtown? What are the things that the city's going to do that they can look and say, this is the direction as a city? So we can. I think that is open, businesses. It might be something we work with the college and just sit there and go, this is what we'll discuss, and we'll tell you where we're going, what we're thinking. And that might include getting more information out about what the housing is going to do. Because the more residents you have, the more businesses you will get.
And if we're all on the same page, we all have the same
But we can
information.
do that. I think we're going into the type of season, if not before the end of the year or right after, because that's where things kind of slow down. People are getting ready for Christmas and the holidays, but after that, you get that lull, and it might be that is the time to have a night where you can sit there and ask us questions. We'll present. Here's the commissioners. This is where we're going. This is what we're talking about, and and these are programs available. Because any programs that the city does, we want the citizens especially to know and take advantage of. So we'll get that, and we'll set up a night and do the economic fun night.
Sounds good.
Paul did want to call out real quick. So, Jim, I wanted to thank you for your service on the Board of Trustees for the college.
Yes.
And just wanted to call that out, just say thank you. Or for the hospital, I'm sorry. Yeah.
Right. I just have one thing. Mark, I don't know if you've thought about it, but this month will mark the end of your second year here with us. And
just time flies.
Yes. And you've been doing a wonderful job. You've brought a lot of new programs to us and things that we have needed to explore for our community, and doing that. And we very much appreciate it. And I know you have a very good rapport with staff. That is wonderful too, and it shows because a lot gets done. And you all try to do the best that you can. And ending on that note, I would like to say, my special informant has informed me that today is your birthday.
Yeah.
So,
little bit, not too much.
Whatever you want to do. I don't know if he wants us to sing or not.
No, I appreciate it.
Are you good? Okay.
I'm good. I'm good.
Okay. But so anyway, but no, I truly mean the things that you have done for us these last 2 years have been phenomenal. To make do with what we have and to try to do what progress that we can, but yet stay respectful to our citizens and the money and so forth, and that means a lot. So, and yes, and above all, have a wonderful birthday, or hope you did today.
And it's truly a privilege. You've got a great, and in the weekly update, you've got a great group of people that work for you, and they do care, and they do want to see Coffeyville win, and I know you do. And Coffeyville's got great hopes and dreams, and it is possible. And so, thank you for that, but also I want to thank staff because, without them, we couldn't do it, and they believe in Coffeyville, and that is such a great thing.
You're so well.
Good.
Okay.
On that note, anybody else? I will make a motion to adjourn.
I'll second that.
Motion is made by Mayor Bauer, seconded by Commissioner Van Oster to adjourn. Can I see a show of hands? Thank you, guys.
Thank you. Thank you, everyone.